Okay, guys. Kyler Murray will be released by the Cardinals. Why didn't it work in Arizona? Was it more him or the team? And tell me where he's going to play next.
Well, I'm glad you put in it's more him or the team, because it's never just one thing. They suffered some injuries. He suffered an injury. But I still go back to your quarterback has to be the leader of the team. And that goes to body language. It goes to performance. It goes to everything you're doing off the field. If they have to put in your contract a clause to watch film, that to me is a huge red flag. We talked about it at the time. I thought that was an issue. His body language, even when he was here in Detroit, they started off that season amazing. And then all of a sudden he's on the sidelines sulking. To me, that was a signal to the team. They gave him weapons. He couldn't utilize them. It's more on Kyler Murray, what has gone on in Arizona, than it is the team or the franchise. Now, don't get me wrong. The franchise is close to a dumpster fire.
Yeah, can I put Call of Duty as a right-in answer as the biggest? But let's not leave Arizona blameless in this. And I actually think you could say it's more Arizona, because he had two different head coaches. Neither were any good. He's 2 touchdowns for every interception. That's a decent ratio. And his last full season healthy, he was 12th in passer rating. You can win with this guy. The fact that they didn't, I think it's a bigger indictment on Arizona.
They gave him a lot of weapons. I know James Conner got hurt last year, but they still had a lot of weapons.
Where's he going to be? We need that answer.
Oh, Jets. I think that's the number one team that most people think he's going to.
Did you see the quirk? Because he can sign for the minimum. He's going to get paid by Arizona, that anybody could add him. How about Minnesota?
I think there's a lot of good teams. I think the Jets may be that team that just desperately needs them enough.
Well, the Bears got some bad news yesterday, and they're going to have to adjust after the surprising retirement of 27-year-old center Drew Dalman. How much trouble are the Bears in?
Big trouble. They were already a team set to take a step back. Their defense wasn't good. They had unbelievable turnover fortune. And now the strength of the team that they addressed last offseason, the interior O-line, has a huge hole to fill. And we know what that's like in Detroit. They are a team that's going to take a step back next season. First place schedule, too. Yeah, I think they're probably the biggest regression team in the NFL.
They may be the biggest regression team, but I'm going to pause and hit the brakes a little, tap the brakes on losing Drew Dalman, because what we saw with the Lions certainly could happen to the Bears. But the Lions basically lost all 3 interior guys. And the Bears still have Joe Thuney at left guard. They still have Jonah Jackson at right guard. They've got 2 veteran presences. Now, I'm not a big fan of Jonah Jackson, but I'm a huge fan of Joe Thuney.
Right, but Dalman's not an all-pro, but a Pro Bowler.
A Pro Bowler, yes. But they also, because of the timing of it, they have a chance to address it in free agency. They have a chance to address it in the draft. They only take a $4 million cap hit. They save $10 million, so they can go out and be major players. This is a bigger issue for Detroit, because now they may be players in pick your center that might hit free agency. They might outbid the Lions.
Well, that's right. And with the Bozeman retirement in L.A., too, with the Chargers, these centers that are free agents, man, what timing they're having to get paid big time. All right, David Montgomery was traded, which upset a lot of fans because he was a fan favorite. Which Detroit sports breakup hurt you the most?
For me, it's Verlander. And I'm happy he's back, but it's not, we kind of all knew it was coming at the time, but it was losing Verlander. He was going to be pitching somewhere else, and it was what it signified for the Tigers. It was going to take some time. It wasn't going to be a quick rebuild, and we all lived it.
See, but my answer is different, because I was an adult for the Verlander thing, and I knew, hey, this is the direction they're going for a rebuild. Same with Stafford. Hey, this is a necessary thing. I got to go back to my childhood. That's when it really hurts.
Yeah.
Fedorov. That team was not going into a rebuild. That team could have won a couple more Stanley Cups in the middle 2000s with him. It's him or it's Ben Wallace. Same thing. I mean, heart and soul of the team. He leaves to go to Chicago, the Windy City, a rivalry. And again, those are when I'm younger. Those are the ones that stuck out.
If I'm going back to when I was younger, it's Kurt Gibson leaving. That was my hero growing up.
Yeah, and I didn't understand that one either, John. But as you got older, you realized they were colluding against the players. He had every damn right to leave.
Yep.
All right, the Colts gave Daniel Jones the transition tag of $37.8 million. Where will he play in 2026?
I think it'll be the Colts. Now, they did leave the door open for someone else to swoop in and get him, but I don't know that the market's going to explode for a guy coming off the injury, and I think the Colts will match and keep him.
I think it's the Colts as well. And I don't know that any other team is really going to jump in because of the Achilles injury. It happened in December. I know that he has projected, or they projected, that he's going to be back by the start of the season. I think that's a long shot. And if he's not going to be the starting quarterback at the beginning of the year, why would another team pony up that much money this year? It's only a 1-year deal. So next year might be a different deal.
You're going to outrace them to $40 million? I don't think so.
The Bengals did not put the franchise tag on Trey Hendrickson. TJ Lang has been saying for weeks now that the Bengals are a mess. Where did they go wrong?
Well, outside of Trey Hendrickson, they went wrong first by not protecting their quarterback. And that's been the major issue since Joe Burrow's been in the league. And second, by not trading Trey Hendrickson before last year's draft when they could have actually gotten a huge haul. Let's not forget, at the trade deadline, he was hurt and didn't really play much. In fact, I don't know if he played at all or it wasn't an impact the rest of the season. Teams knew it. They weren't ready to pony up. They should have traded him before last year's draft.
Think about it. He's a back-to-back sack leader in the NFL, and he's going to leave for nothing. Yeah, they should have traded him in the offseason last year or at the deadline, said this is our last chance to get something for him.
Yeah.
Bengals ownership acts like it's still 1990 and there's not even free agency in the NFL.
Wild.
They're just losers and cheap.
And TJ's right, by the way. I saw him bombing them yesterday on Twitter.
Some mock drafts have Jeremiah Love going in the top 5. Is he worth that pick, and who is the best fit?
Okay, so the league has zigzagged. As teams play too high safety, as offenses run more tight ends, the run game's had a resurgence. So you could make the case to take him in that top 5 or top 10. The problem is, I think you got to have an offensive line for it to make sense. I don't think anybody in the top 5 is ready to plug a running back in. The team I think that should take him, Commanders at 7.
That could be a good fit. I think he actually makes it to Kansas City. I don't want to see him go to Kansas City because I think it makes them, it just launches them into another stratosphere coming into next year. But Kansas City's in a weird place because you mentioned the offensive line. They drafted an offensive lineman in the first round last year. I think they may do it again. So if he gets past Kansas City, I don't know where he ends up going, but I think the perfect fit would be KC.
But like in the top 5, like look at the teams in the top 5.
I don't think
Titans,
there's a team in the
Cardinals. Like I don't think they should use a pick on a running back when they have so many other needs. Washington would make sense. Kansas City, I don't know if they should because they still have to get their O-line right.
Well, the thing with Washington too is that whoever's picking 6, I don't know off the top of my head, but somebody that wants Love might be wanting to hop up and get that pick because Washington seems like a great fit with Jaden Daniels. Finally, the biggest name that could be moved this offseason. Will Maxx Crosby be traded, and if so, where?
I know there's a lot of smoke. He's talked a lot about it. The Raiders need to hit the rebuild button to get a couple of first-round picks back. I don't think he goes anywhere. I think he's still an Oakland Raider.
Or a Vegas Raider, even.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
I said San Diego earlier, so it's okay.
We all do it. I think they do need to hit the reset and the rebuild, and it makes sense to trade him. Now, the reports are they want a Micah Parsons-level haul.
Yeah.
Do you know who was in on Micah Parsons but couldn't close the deal? The Eagles. I could see Howie Roseman, one of the most aggressive GMs in football, swinging a deal for Maxx Crosby.
I did see the betting favorite was Chicago.
Of course.
Yeah, it's even moved more since it came out yesterday afternoon. It moved again last night. They're minus 135 to get Crosby.
What do they know? What does the market know?
They know something.
All right. As your Wednesday touchdown, it's 97.1.